working woman on how to follow your dreams after college. Bianca B is a blogger, a host, a producer, and an author who moved to California at 17 years old to study filmmaking in college. In college, she started her own talk show called The Bianca B Show, where she was the executive producer and host. She's interviewed celebrities such as Jussie Smollett, Vivica A. Fox, Tinashe, and the entire cast of Basketball Wives LA, just to name a few. In 2014, Bianca launched the Bianca B Foundation, where their mission is to help at-risk youth and women by offering one-on-one mentoring with leaders and business professionals, tutoring, and internships. But that's not it. In 2015, she turned her blog into a self-help book by releasing the 20s Chronicles, where she guides 20-somethings men and women to their success by entering them into her journey. She's also worked for E!, TMZ, Paramount Pictures, VH1, the Oprah Winfrey Network, the list goes on.
Hi love, thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. I cannot wait to find out what questions you have for me today.
When did you graduate from college and what school did you attend?
So I attended the Art Institute in LA. It was located in Santa Monica. They have several schools. I graduated for digital filmmaking and video productions back in June 2015.
You're from Michigan, but you went to school all the way in California. How did you make that happen?
I made that happen honestly through the grace of God and my mother. At first, I've always knew that I wanted to move to California. I knew that I always wanted to live there, but I didn't know what school I was going to go to. I didn't apply to any schools in Michigan. I didn't get into, USC or UCLA. And I was really discouraged. I didn't know what I was going to do. And so my mom, she researched the Art Institute and she was like, well, you like editing, you like blogging, so why not go to school for film? So if it wasn't for my mother, I probably would be stuck in Michigan still. But through the grace of God, everything worked out and planned out, and I was out when I was 17. I moved to LA. So yeah, my life changed tremendously.
How did you know what you wanted to major in?
At first, if I wanted to stay in Michigan, I was going to go to school to be a psychiatrist and minor in dance, but everything honestly just worked out. My mom was just like, go to school for film. I mean, this is the program that they have. And at first I was like, the Art Institute, I'm not into art, I'm not into fashion, I don't know how to draw. But we just did our research and everything just worked out. It worked out for me, and I'm blessed, and I thank God every day for that opportunity.
What was the most challenging internship that you held, and how did that help you grow?
So I worked many places, and it wasn't an internship, but it was a job. I worked at E! News, and it was one of the most challenging jobs for me because I was so used to standing out in every position that I've had in the past, and this was the first job where it was challenging for me. I felt like I couldn't be myself, and I had to really learn how to deal with, multiple personalities. I had to learn to deal with, entertainment, strict people. Like, I had to, really kind of sit on the bench. You know how if you're on the court and you have your star players, I was like a rookie. And it kind of humbled me tremendously because I realized that you're not going to win everything. You're not going to win every position. You're not going to win every internship. I really learned to be a loser, and that's how I felt. But the growth of it taught me to have a lot of patience. It also taught me that I can take on any position. I can take on any person in the world because I was dealing with so many different personalities. So it really taught me to have patience, and it also really taught me to humble myself, and that everything happens for a reason, and I was there strictly to learn how to have patience.
Exactly how many internships did you have in college, and why was it so important to have as many internships as you did?
So if you follow my blog, you know that I'm really big on internships and getting mentors. And in college, I did so many internships, and people are like, well, weren't you just there? Weren't you just there? But for me, I worked 4 internships throughout college, and I always worked part-time jobs. The 4 internships I did, I started out small. My first semester, I started out doing social media, interning for a production company that was working on a pilot, and that was my first internship. And I learned about Google Docs, analytics, and things like that. The second job I had was I worked at After Dark Films. I was a general intern, so I ran errands, I made coffee, I stocked up the fridge, I went to the mall. Like, I did so many like generic general interning for the company, binding and things like that. The third internship I had was at the Oprah Winfrey Network. I was a deliverables intern, so I worked with, you know, the shows, tapes, you know, different systems and things like that. My last internship before I graduated, I interned at TMZ. I was the intern for 2fab.com, so I did a lot of writing for 2fab.com, and it was absolutely amazing. And all my internships, I really wanted to start out small and get bigger throughout, you know, my college years. I went to school for 4 years, so every year I had an internship. And I feel like internships are very important, and getting mentors is extremely important because it helps you in your career. It helps you learn. It's the knowledge. I feel like knowledge is key, and I think whatever it is you want to do in life, you know, just you have to have knowledge. You have to be able to learn every aspect of whatever it is that you want to do. So I have my degree in filmmaking, so I wanted to learn the pre-production side, the production side, the administrative side. Like, I wanted to learn everything when it came to film, and that's what I did. And I feel like internships are truly important.
Talk to us about the different internships that you had, such as who you interned for and how you went about getting those internships.
So how I went about getting the internships that I mentioned in the last question was I applied online, and one of my internships I got through my teacher. So honestly, I just always research online, and if my mom would see links, she'll send them to me. And it was just, like I said, it was really important that I did a lot of internships in college, and I always recommend college students to do a lot of internships just because these companies want college students. Because after college, it gets challenging to find a position. So take advantage of the opportunities that you have now while you're in school. Take advantage. Like, do not get distracted. Do not party. Take advantage of your career, and if it's something you truly want to do in life.
How have those internships better prepared you for your career?
Internships and working for companies in general, it has really helped me with branding in my career. I've learned how to, you know, just know what I want in life. Know that if this is something I truly want to do. It also has helped me for when I do launch my own business, how I want my employees to be, and, you know, how I would be as an employer and as a boss. Because, you know, being around different people run their companies differently, and I mean, it just really helps me. It really helped me to just be a student. It's okay to be a student. You don't always have to be a leader all the time. You don't always have to be the head of everything. It really humbled me working all these jobs and, you know, just staying focused with my career.
Since graduating from college, what different jobs have you had so far?
After college, I ended up getting a gig for the summer at Warner Brothers. I was working in the tour department. So if you ever go on a Warner Brothers tour, I was the person that scanned tickets, and I was the person that played the Warner Brothers video before you met your tour guide. So if you ever go to Warner Brothers, that's what I did. And after my job at Warner Brothers, I ended up doing social media for a hair company. Big old hair. I ended up doing social media marketing for a hair company, and then after that I ended up going to VH1, and then after that E, and then E News. My life after college, as far as jobs, you know, I know how to hustle. I know how to, you know, make my way, you know, and I know how to stack my money when needed, and I know when I need to get a job and do what I gotta do to survive. And I feel like once you have a hustle mentality and you know how to go out there and get it, jobs and opportunities will come to you.
What's been the most difficult part about your post-grad experience so far?
Girl, after college, it gets real. Life after college, it really hit me last year. You know, I was working at VH1, and it was a pilot. So in the film industry, pilots, you never know if it's going to get picked up by a network or not. And I was making really good money. I was saving my money, and VH1 was like, they didn't want the show. So I was out of a job for a while. I was out of a job for a whole summer, and I learned to really budget my money, budget my finances, and I wasn't getting a job anywhere, and I had an incredible resume. So I learned that sometimes your resume doesn't mean anything to these companies. Sometimes you're just not qualified. And I also really learned that having faith in God and really trusting Him, He will make a way for you in anything that you want to do. And I always have vision boards. I'm a strong believer in vision boards and writing it down, and I feel like when you write things down, you can truly manifest it. Like my E position, I had wrote that down 2 years ago. 2 years ago prior to getting that position, and I randomly got that gig. So I feel like I truly believe in, you know, having faith and truly believing in myself. I feel like you have to believe in yourself and believe that you will make it and that you will be successful. So for me, that's what I did.
What can you say to someone who wants to strive for an unconventional career after college but feels pressured to getting a real or normal job because of financial reasons or because of pressure from their family or their friends?
I love this question. I truly always tell people that you are who you hang around, meaning if you want to be an entrepreneur, start positioning yourself around other entrepreneurs. Family, for example, if you have a family that is used to corporate life and, you know, no one in your family is an entrepreneur, they're not going to understand, you know, the struggle of you wanting to build your own brand and you wanting to build your own products. A lot of family members won't understand that. So quit telling your ideas to small-minded people. Love people from a distance. Everybody's not going to understand your struggle or what it is that you want to do but you. And I highly always recommend when it comes to your finances and when it comes to, you know, working a 9-to-5 job, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to survive and to make money and pay your bills. And so with me, for example, I like having temporary positions. I like having jobs where I am not, I would have to say, committed to it, meaning that it doesn't take over my whole life. So that's why I've had a lot of temporary positions, or, you know, a lot of internships, or worked for production companies and went from gig to gig, because I know for myself I'm going to be my own boss. I know that I am an entrepreneur at heart. So I am here to learn what I need to learn through the grace of God and do what I gotta do. And you know, don't go into 9-to-5 dreading to be there, you know. It shows in your work, and I've been that person where you could tell I did not want to be there, but going there with a smile on your face. But when you leave that office or you leave that 9-to-5 job, go home and work on your brand. Go home and put in the work for your own company. Don't be lazy, don't be tired and be like, I just worked all week, I don't feel like doing it. No, you're making excuses. Flip your money and put it into your business. If you want to be a blogger or a YouTuber or someone that wants to be on camera but don't have a camera, use that money, set aside a certain amount of money and invest in a camera to where you can be making quality videos and quality things. Like me, when I was in college, I would work 2 jobs and flip that money. It'd be like, I would be making like $9 an hour. I would flip that money and pay for my crew, pay for outfits, pay for makeup, you know, pay to go to red carpets. I always flip my money and put it into my brand because that is what I wanted to do. When it came to putting my book out, I was doing social media marketing. I was at my 9-to-5 job, and I flipped that money and I invested in getting an editor to help me edit my book. Putting in the money for the logos, the book cover. I flipped my money and put it in my business. I didn't go shopping with my money. I didn't spend my money on unnecessary things. I put it to my brand. When it came to me quitting my 9-to-5 to go to VH1, I knew that job for VH1 was going to be temporary. I knew it. But my gut feeling and God told me to go follow your dreams, go build those relationships with those people. And I was in a comfortable position, but I knew that being comfortable was not making me grow. So I did what I had to do and I quit. And if God and your gut feeling is telling you to leave a situation, leave it. Say goodbye. Even if you don't have money when you do, even if you don't know what's next, do what you gotta do. That's my biggest advice. And last but not least, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Bianca B. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bianca B Show. Follow me on Snapchat too at It's Bianca B. Go to my website, biancab.com. And last but not least, the 3 final words I have for you guys is you are who you hang around. Don't get discouraged and compare yourself to other people. And consistency. Be consistent in whatever it is that you want to do, and don't be afraid to be a student. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it. Bye, love.